by using some coupling mechanisms, among which we had probe and loop. So from those, how to remove energy from the waveguides. We already discussed how to remove the energy from the waveguides. With the help of probe and with the help of loops, we will be able to remove the energy from the waveguides. So by injecting the probes and by injecting the loops, you will be able to eliminate, or you will able to reduce the energy from the waveguide. We already discussed that one. Okay, so today we are going to discussing one more coupling mechanism among three. One more mechanism is there, that is aperture coupling, or you need to call slot coupling, or else you need to call the another name for this aperture coupling is window coupling. Coming to this aperture or window coupling, coming to this aperture coupling, the slots or apertures are sometimes used when very loose coupling is desired. Very loose coupling is desired. So loose coupling is desired. So in this method, when the energy enters through a small slot in the waveguide, in this method, when the energy enters, see this, when the energy enters with a small slot, see the diagram here, when the energy enter with small slots in the waveguide, in this waveguide, okay, in this waveguide, and the E field, electric field, electric field expands into the waveguide. So when the energy enters through a small slot in the waveguide and the electric field expands into the waveguide, and the electric field lines expand first across the slot, and then across the interior of the waveguide. First, which will be across the slot, after the interior of the waveguide, which will be across the interior of the waveguide. And the minimum reflection occurs, when energy is injected or removed. A minimum reflection occurs when the energy is injected or removed from the waveguide. If the size of the slot, or if the size of the aperture, or if the size of the window is properly proportional to the frequency of the energy, which is proportional to the frequency of the energy. This size of this aperture is proportional to the frequency of the energy. Just you need to remember this size. Okay, this size is proportional to the frequency of the energy. This is the figure, aperture coupling. This is the figure, aperture coupling. This is the figure, aperture coupling. See that. So here the energy is entered into with a small slot, right? So with the help of that only you are able to remove the energy from that. This is the electric field direction in the waveguide, rectangular waveguide. This is the rectangular waveguide, yes or no? So in the rectangular waveguide, the electric field direction is like this. So if the electric field induced, what will happen? The current flow will be also happening inside in the circuit. Yes, sir. So after learning how energy is coupled into and out of a waveguide with slots. After learning that how the energy is coupled into the waveguide and as well as out of the waveguide with slots. So you might think that leaving the end open is the most simple way of injecting. Leaving the end open is the most simple way of injecting or removing energy in a waveguide. Removing energy in a waveguide. Next, this is not the case. However, this is the not case. However, because when energy leaves a waveguide, the field from around the end of the waveguide, So these fields cause an impedance mismatch, which in turn cause the development of standing waves and a drastic losses in efficiency. So in the field causes an impedance may be mismatches, which in turns will be cause the development of the standing waves and a drastic loss in the efficiency. If the impedance mismatch will be happening in the fields and in the turns in the standing waves, what will happen? Some losses in the efficiency will be happening. Next, coming to the next topic is impedance matching using a waveguide iris. Impedance matching using a waveguide iris. No doubt, impedance matching using a waveguide iris. Irises are effectively obstructions. Irises are effectively obstructions. These irises are effectively obstructions within the waveguide that provide a capacitive or inductive element within the waveguide to provide the impedance matching. So in the aperture coupling, we are getting one cause, that is impedance mismatching, or else in the turns we will get the impedance mismatching in the development of the standing wave. So that is will be affecting the losses in the efficiency. If you want to overcome impedance mismatchings, means you need to use the waveguide irises. Okay, so the irises are effectively obstructions within the waveguide that provide a capacitive or inductive element within the waveguide to provide the impedance mismatch. These obstructions are waveguide irises is located in either the transverse plane of the magnetic or electric fields. These obstructions are these irises, impedance matching using the waveguide irises is located in either the transverse plane of the magnetic field or transverse plane of the electric field. It means that you need to keep or you need to locate these irises, waveguide irises, in either TM mode or either TE mode. Shortcut, you need to write it like that. That is only transverse plane of the magnetic or electric field. You need to remember that. And a waveguide iris places a shunt capacitance. A waveguide iris places a shunt capacitance or inductance across the waveguide. A waveguide iris places a shunt capacitance or inductance across the waveguide and it is directly proportional to the size of the waveguide irises. This capacitance or inductance value will be proportional directly, proportional to the size of the waveguide irises, which will be proportional to the size of the waveguide irises. And an inductive waveguide iris, an inductive waveguide iris is placed within the magnetic field. Inductive iris you need to placed within the magnetic field. And if you want to place a capacitive waveguide iris, means where you have to place, in which field you have to place. This capacitive waveguide iris is placed within the electric field. It means that you need to keep your mind these 2 points. An inductive waveguide iris is placed into magnetic field, within the magnetic field, and a capacitive waveguide iris is placed within the electric field. You need to note on these 2 points. And these can be susceptible to break down. These can be susceptible to break down under high power conditions. Under high power conditions, particularly the electric plane irises, as they concentrate the electric field. So why you need to concentrate on only electric plane, means here you are using electric field. So because that reason, these high power conditions are particularly the electric plane irises, as they concentrate on the electric field only. Accordingly, the uses of waveguide irises are screw, a post can limit the power handling capacity. We have a limited power handling capacity. Rather than that, we are unable to handling power in the waveguide irises or screws or posts. Okay. So this is the impedance matching using a waveguide irises. See from this diagram what we have from this. This is capacitive waveguide. This will be locating here. This is the capacitive waveguide. This is the inductive. This is the inductive waveguide of inductive iris. Where you need to keep it this. If you want to keep it this inductive waveguide irises, means you need to prefer only magnetic field. You need to place this inductive waveguide iris into magnetic field. And if you want to place this capacitive waveguide iris, you need to prefer only electric field. So where you need to keep these two. So depends on your convenient of. So this is the impedance matching using waveguide iris. And the waveguide iris may be either be on the only one side of the waveguide, or there may be a waveguide iris on the both sides to balance the system. These waveguides may be, you need to keep either only one side of the waveguide, or else this will be managing both sides, or balancing the both sides of the system, waveguide system. Next, single waveguide iris. Single waveguide iris is the often referred to as an asymmetric waveguide iris. One way there are two or one other sides is known as symmetrical waveguides. See the asymmetrical waveguide iris. Here you need to keep only one side, this waveguide iris. Okay, so symmetrical waveguide means we have both. Let us assume in the mathematical we have a symmetrical, means we have both signs. Asymmetrical means we have either one sign, either positive or negative. Like that you need to define. So in the figure we have symmetrical and asymmetrical. The second one is the symmetrical waveguide iris. The first one is asymmetrical waveguide iris. Okay, if you have a single means, it indicates that this is asymmetrical waveguide iris. If you have a both means from upper and lower, top and bottom, which will be related to symmetrical waveguide iris. A combination of both E and H planes. It means that a combination of both means both electric field and magnetic field plane of waveguide irises can be used to provide both inductive and capacitive resistance. It means that if we have combination of both fields, if you have a TEM mode, it means that you have a both planes, or you have electric field and magnetic field in the waveguide irises, which will be provide both inductive and capacitive waveguide irises. This forms a tuned circuit. This forms a tuned circuit at resonance. The irises act as a high impedance shunt. These irises act as a high impedance shunt, either above or below resonance, either above or below resonance state. And the irises act as a capacitive and inductive reactants. These irises may be will act as capacitance and inductance, capacitive and inductive reactances. You need to remind this also. So if you are using irises, waveguide irises inside your waveguide, either you need to keep these two in either rectangular waveguide, TEM mode or TM mode, whatever it is. This two will be act as a capacitive and inductive reactance. Next, coming to impedance matching using a waveguide four-star screw. Impedance matching using a waveguide four-star screw. So in addition to using a waveguide iris, you need to use four-star screw. These two can be also be used to give a similar effect, thereby provide a waveguide impedance matching. Okay, now if you want to making matching of impedance means these four-star screw will be providing waveguide impedance matching. And the waveguide four-star screw is made from a conductive material. This waveguide four-star screw is made from a conductive material. Note down this point is very important. A waveguide four-star screw is made from a conductive material. To make the four-star screw inductive, it should be extend through the waveguide completely making contact with both top and bottom walls. We already see